What's going on, guys? Kaiga here. It is the beginning of February 2025, but I think we should probably look back and see what happened in 2024 for Legends Neverland. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get into it.
The mist-bearing ground of the blossom. The mist.
Alright, guys, so I have my little notes, as you see right there. I have a bunch of screenshots and stuff to talk about, but I was watching a Raid Shadow Legends video, just listening to it while I was working, and the one that auto-played was talking about 2024, and I'm like, that's interesting. I mean, it makes sense that once you say it, but I haven't done this before yet, even though the game's been out pushing 3 years now. A little bit more on S servers, but I'm kind of fuzzy on that. So, talking about 2024 itself, the best things that happened this year are the pet system, guild skills, and fairy balancing. Some of them you would think happened a long time ago, but the pets, one of the newest things, as you see right here. This is my infographic saying which one's best and the best ones. I think this is a very good system. The only problem with it is getting the highest tier books. That just happens over time. I love that you get a 10x per day summon. As long as you're, collecting your keys and doing your floor 3 captures. I love that even the free-to-play can do a 10x per day. And I really wish that our regular fairy system got to that same point, that a 10x per day, maybe if it was like right now, a free-to-play player, if they're lucky with fishing and stuff, gets like a summon a day. You get half from the login, 75, and then on average, because you don't always get from fishing and whatnot, I think on average you get 1 to 1.5 summons per day, as long as you're doing all your fishing and whatnot. Which is not nearly enough. We need more summons, but that's a different topic. The pet system is really good. I love the fact that at least right now, the best in spot for everything does not include the money only one. The only one would be debuff resistance on sensitive type. But the dragon isn't super far behind, so you can make do with that. With guild skills, let's see if that opened up for you guys. Let me open it up so you can see what I'm looking at. So this is a calculator. We've had it for a while. Something Nico. I get his name mixed up sometimes. Well, at least on GitHub it's Sparky Nico, but he helps me out sometimes. And this is a very interesting thing right here. I talked about it on stream sometimes, but you can like pick one. Let's say integrated offense defense, says what the effect is down here. In green you can pick other ones to add with it. Up here it tells you what colors are required, and then red is the ones that you cannot use to match that one, for example. But I like this system, not this effect thing right here that we're looking at, but I like the guild emblem system. I think it adds something very nice to the game. The only issue is obviously that offense and defense. The offense part works, the defense part does not. That is one of those known bugs that's just around until they figure out what in the spaghetti code needs to be fixed. But everything else, I think, is a really good system. Fairy balancing. Make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, there we go. So back in March was the only fairy balancing I remember. There were some buffs for new fairies when they came out shortly after, making sure they align with different things. Urza is the newest one that got 2 buffs, but this was actual buffs and nerfs, and it was the only time they've done it. I think this was very, very good. Regardless of how good or bad these buffs or nerfs are, I think doing it at all is a huge thing. But the only time I think they should ever nerf is if something is super blatantly wrong, because you do run into some issues, and some companies have been sued in the past, selling something and then right when the banner ends, changing it. That has happened in some games. Some they've had to pay out, some they have not. It really depends on where you're located, what the particulars are of that situation. But I don't think Dandelion, Winter Cherry, or Lavender didn't really matter a whole lot. Lavender got definitely got a nerf here. Winter Cherry got buffed. Dandelion got buffed as well. So, I mean, nothing really crazy, but I wish they did it a bit more. Going on to the worst things that happened in 2024, in my opinion. Fairy Barrier. I think that was a dud. The new seals, I think the idea is good, but the implementation of it was terrible. And it really sours most of what happens on servers. And the collabs, we'll talk about that. So, right here is the seals. And I think seals needed to happen, but these were some dog water. Let me know what you guys think down below. But I think requiring you to have 4 or 5 18-star of each element, it does show that you have a collection, like you are completing the game. But when we're in a state, even now, we're 3, maybe 4, depending on the element, you're able to get to 18-star without spending a decent amount of money. It kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth. We're also getting to a point where Firmament is going to have Firmament 2 and 3, which is going to require having 4 or 5 18-star holies or something. But I think this added... It's not a blatant bad thing to the game, but I think it does hurt the game that they did these. Flower Fairy Barrier. This was a dud. Happened one time. It was effectively, how can we get another battle pass out there? The big ticket item for this was for ascension on your equipment that only the late game players were even at a point to use. Bringing your fairies from 450 to 470 or whatnot. And like, even now, Flower Fairy Barrier has come and gone. How many people are at this point anyways? If this also gave a bunch of red dust or something, then people would want it. I think the idea, the big boss, you kill it, the time attack thing was pretty cool, but no one really cared. I think this was at the same level as like the arrow shooting things we had with the collabs. The rewards were nice, but who cared about the system? Then the collabs. So collabs are great, but there's several issues here. One is when someone says, hey, these are some good fairies, or when a merge or crossover happens and one side has collab units and one doesn't, that really adds an issue, right? Because like you're getting burst down by Urza and Natsu, but you've never seen it on your server. You're like, what is that? How can I get that? And the only answer is wait for the next collab. And the outfits are a joke. You can't dye them. You can't do anything. People are DIYing better outfits than the collab outfits. That's not even close. We have some very talented people in this community that I cherish having them here. Yeah, not great. I think the coolest thing was that they did was the Fairy Tale collab, that they had the Fate cards. There was a difference between SEA, JP, KR, and Global, where you could get them from different sources, but it was like different ones were like the free version ones, right? So like over here on Global, I think Natsu was the one that we could get for Sapphires. And I believe I remember that for SEA, they had Lucy and like a rolling ball thing. And there were different things for different versions, and I kind of, that didn't matter so much, but I like that you could at least get 2 or 3 free to play if you had resources ready for them. And they're red Fate cards, so that's good. Generally, a good rolled up yellow is better, but some people just really want that red card, you know what I mean? So the biggest issue with collabs is that there's no schedule or nothing with them, and you never know what's going to happen. In between, so this is good/bad, and that's going to be Legion War and Fairy Seasons, 2 very important things that happen in the game. Legion War, this is very recent, and so the problem is people wanted PvP, they wanted anytime PvP, but you run into like a, how do I explain it? A majority of players want to do the path of least resistance. So how Legion War at least worked in my server and in tons of servers is everyone went in, did their dailies. Maybe there was a fight the 4 times a day for the stronghold, and besides that, dipped out. So instead of it being play whenever you want throughout the day, it was play at these 4 times per day. So they got their engagement, they got people log in, but it kind of flopped on what it was trying to do, right? And a lot of people, I know my server and other people as well, just joined one color. Entire server joined one color, and you win. I've seen some people did what I said was a possibility, where they all went to yellow and they all had their alts go to blue, and everyone killed all the alts to get a massive amount of points. So this was a flop. How I think they could make it better is make it salvation power, so everyone is closer to the same power. And if you want to do time gating for the stronghold, make it around event times, so people actually show up near that, right? There's 2. So right when they did it, it was the 12:31. That's reasonable because it's right after the PvP of Uncharted Battlefield or Crystal Battlefield, and the what was it, 9:31 is fine. It's a little later than I would like, maybe if it was 9, because that would still be after any guild wars or anything like that. But the other two just didn't make sense as far as timing. Maybe you do a nighttime one, like at the daily reset, 12, 12:30, whatnot. Just make the times match up a little bit better for how server timings work. Make it salvation, and make it so that you're on a random color when you join up. So you can't just team up like that. We also have this is a different language. It's just the best picture I could find on a short notice. But the seasons. So you had to have the season fairy. You match it up with whatever. They get a bonus in all the season fairy game modes, guild boss, and whatever else. And then you get points for doing everything, and then you get rewards down here. So these worked, but I think it flopped for a lot of people. One of the biggest ones was you effectively had to be the top 10 to get the full track down here, to get the outfit. They did fix that. I think a majority of people, especially on the last season, I think it was season 4, was pretty good, because you could get all of it, because you could get some of the pieces, and they gave you points that you could use to buy the other pieces, which allows you to save up and use it for other ones that you may have missed. I think that's a pretty good system. That was a pretty good fix. What I think they really need to do for seasons in the future is everyone should get a copy of the seasonal fairy. One 6-star version of the fairy. You're not going to get all the points. The spenders are still going to spend to get more stars, to get further ahead, things like this. You're not breaking the bank by giving everyone the seasonal fairy. And it promotes people to log in to get said seasonal fairy, right? Let me know what you guys think down below. I think everyone's in agreement there. If you're like, oh yeah, February, there's a new Chestnut Rose SP. She's a seasonal fairy. You log in, you do your dailies for 3 days, and boom, you get her. Sounds good. With it being like quests like Lotus or whatnot. Sounds good to me. And then last on my notes right here is, well, I didn't write this here, but what would I rate 1 out of 10 Legends of Neverland from 2024? And I think I'm honestly going to give it like a 7 or 7.5. I still really enjoy the game, but I definitely see what it's missing, and I do like the direction it's currently going. I am optimistic, especially we know there's going to be a new class at the end of the year. We know there's more pets coming, more ways to change our characters, get more out of it. But what I want down the road is another roadmap. This is the only roadmap we ever got in August 2022. It's now beginning of 2025. Everything on here we got besides the Legion War Reborn, which is what we literally just got in effectively 2025, which they said was coming in 2023, but oh well. But I would love to see this again. Realistically, the only things that we know are in the works are, like I said, up here. We know there's going to be a new class towards the end of the year. And we know there's going to be more pets in the future. Only thing we know, I wish we had more clear-cut idea some kind of schedule. But that's it, guys. Let me know down below what's the good, what's the bad, and what do you rank Neverland 1 out of 10 for the year 2024. Till next time, guys.